He goes back to Guelph, a stinky junior team, not going to develop there. He stays up here for the entirety of the season, but he's not in the lineup every night. Or he's here for the 9 games. They spread those out to keep him up here as long as they possibly can, and then they ultimately send him down and try to get him out to junior. Where do you guys think the best place for him to go is? Is it better to play every night in Guelph, or is it better for them to extend this as far as they can and maybe even keep him up in and out of the lineup just so that he's working with this group, with these coaches?
I think if they're in a real pickle because that new rule doesn't come into effect until next year where you can keep your first-round pick in the American League as a 19-year-old. So it doesn't help the Flyers at all right now, but I know they don't want to send him back to Guelph. So, and again, I don't know how much they can get their hands in the cookie jar of a trade in the Ontario Hockey League to get him out of Guelph to a better program. But I think as the case sits right now, if he's in Guelph, I think they're just going to develop him here in Philadelphia. That means meaning having great practices is going to be a big, big thing for him every day. That may be the case. He will be playing for Canada at the World Juniors if he's here. Even if he's here in Philadelphia, the Flyers will loan him to Team Canada for the World Juniors. That'll give him an opportunity to step up against guys his own age and really showcase himself for what he is. But it looks to me like the way it's set up right now, I just don't see him going back to junior because of the circumstances of his junior team.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm actually going to have a story about this tomorrow at On Pattison. I talked to Jett today. Talked to a couple other people in the organization. Talked to Garnet Hathaway actually at length about Luchanko, and it's exactly what Bundy said. Now, the thing of it is that they understand that the situation isn't ideal, having him play 7-8 minutes a night on a fourth line, because that's not the guy that they want him to be, right?
Right.
And I think that ultimately it's okay to kind of let that be the case for a few weeks, but Danny Briere as general manager would be mismanaging the team if he let that be the case all year. So I think that they're going to kind of take this in segments as far as like a handful of games, and then make determinations, right? They wanted him to play Monday against Florida because they wanted to see how he looked and have him experience a game against the best team in hockey. Now, I know that they're missing a couple guys, but the Panthers are the 2-time defending champs. They're the best team in hockey, okay? So he wanted him to experience that. That's a big deal for him to kind of experience what that game is like. He's earned his time to play 2 in a row. He's going to be in the lineup again tomorrow. So he's going to be in 3 straight. Flyers still have a little wiggle room. They can play him up to 9 games before they have to send him back to Guelph, right? And like you said, they are 100% going to loan him to Team Canada for World Junior.
Right.
That way he's playing big minutes in a big tournament against the best players in the world that are his age group.
Yeah.
Okay? So that is certainly going to happen. The interesting thing is going to be between that 9th game and Team Canada, do we send him back to Guelph, even though it's not the greatest situation there? There's not a lot of talent on that team. It's not a very good team. Can they help force a trade to another team? Like there's, go to London.
Right. Well, that would be
everybody
ideal.
goes to London, right?
Everybody
Go to
ends
London.
up in London.
Yeah, go play in London. But can you force that to happen, or do you spread the 9 games out until he goes to World Junior and then make a decision after that, so that he's in and out of the lineup? I don't know if that's a good thing either, but they certainly want to protect him and help him develop. But at the same time, they don't want to send him back to junior. So it's a tough spot for them to be in.
I feel like he's 2 years away, and they're in a weird spot. I could very easily envision a scenario where next year he's playing for the Phantoms.
If he was playing for the Phantoms this year, I think he'd be a year away.
Correct. But since he won't be,
it might be a year and a half.
Got to be careful with that too. Yeah. Keeping a kid for a year in the NHL and then sending him to the minors.
Yeah.
You got to really be careful with that.
Yeah. I guess I look at it like this. So you obviously hope that Zegras is going to be able to be a 1 or 2C. Obviously, they played him on the wing the other night.
I got something on that, too.
We can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
You would ideally like to see Zegras be one of your centers. You want to see the Cates line is so good that he has to be one of your centers. Couturier has to be one of your centers. So you have one left. Jack Nesbitt, who most people think is still a bit away, it still needs to work on that first stride. We talked to him about that at Dev Camp. That first stride is really what's going to be the thing that gets him an actual look. he's an intriguing prospect. I'm not saying that this is a thing where you're playing out 3 years down the line, but obviously, given that he's also a first-round pick, you probably want to see a scenario where Nesbitt ends up here at some point in the next few years.
You don't need to worry about that now, though.
But my thing
He's
is,
a ways away.
I don't see the path to Luchanko. I don't even for next year. If Zegras is here, if Cates is here, and Couturier is here, then Jett Luchanko, your former first-round pick, has to be the 4C, which is not a place you would think he'd be. Are you going to bump if Cates and Forrester and Brink continue to play really well together, are you going to make them the fourth line so that Jett Luchanko can come up here and play 3C? That's my problem. He's young and he doesn't have the ability to develop where he needs to, which is the A. It just feels like he's going to be in purgatory here for a year and a half.
Could be, but you never know. I mean, you never know what happens with guys.
He could develop. He's a great skater, right? So you could play him up and down your lineup.
Yeah, and maybe one of those guys eventually moves to a wing, right? I mean, Zegras. Yeah. Zegras is already in what Tocchet called today a hybrid role.
Yeah.
And that's because he can't win faceoffs, right? So they have Dvorak taking those draws, right? So that's point one. And I'm not necessarily certain that he's the best guy as far as being responsible for what the center's role requires. I think they're going to give him a chance to let him play some and see how it is. This is kind of one of those prove-it-to-us years for Trevor Zegras. But ultimately, he may be a guy that ends up back on the wing. Yeah. Really may end up being back on the wing. And you never know. And we talked about Couturier. I mean, there's no guarantee that he continues, just because he feels good 3 games into the season, that by game 50, he's not,
So Couturier becomes the 4C, and Jett Luchanko comes up and becomes the 2C next year. You heard it here first on
No,
Anthony.
That's not what I heard, but I'm saying that you can move a guy to a wing.
Yeah.
Is what the possibility is.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you that Garnet Hathaway had a lot of great things to say about Luchanko.
About Luchanko?
Yeah, he says, it's funny because he's a quiet kid, but he's very cerebral, and he's like a sponge. He asks a ton of questions, and he says it's funny. He's 19 years old. He said, when I was 19 years old, I was a freshman at Brown, and I was afraid to ask seniors questions.
Right.
He said he's 19 years old. He's coming up to me. I'm 14 years older than him to talk to me and pick my brain.
Yeah.
He's that kind of kid who really wants to learn and figure it out, right? And obviously we know about his speed and his skill and what they think that he can become. So there's a lot to like about Luchanko. Tocchet said today, he needs to shoot the puck more.
Yeah.
He said, what the problem is with him is he's always got the puck in a great spot, and he's trying to be selfless.
Who's this?
Luchanko.
Luchanko, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to pass the puck. He says, I need him to shoot. He needs to shoot the puck more. So that's something that they want him to do. Once he starts shooting the puck more, maybe that unlocks a couple things for him as well.
A playmaker with elite vision and passing ability who's afraid to shoot the puck, or afraid to shoot in general, is Jett Luchanko, the Philadelphia Flyers' new version of Ben Simmons. You can call us right now and let us know what you think.